Hey, in this case study, we're going to go through how we were able to help a $5 million a year landscape and pool company be able to improve their margins, find out the utilization rate of kind of their team and resources, and how we're ultimately going to be able to help them scale up with better profit margins. Let's get into the case study. All right, in this case study, I want to go through around a $5 million a year landscape and pool company in New Jersey. Client came to us for CEO Finance Academy, one of our academy programs, to walk them through how to better understand their finances and improve their profitability. So let's get into it. So they obviously do design, build, landscaping, maintenance, and fiberglass pool installation in New Jersey. They have multiple divisions. They do maintenance, landscape install, fiberglass pool install, and the labor is mixed between those. So labor will do, their team will do all of those different things, and mixed field crews across divisions, owners and ops leaders overseeing sort of the scheduling and running the day-to-day. So what were some of the challenges that they were facing when they came to us? So at this point, when they came to us, they had blended direct labor, meaning they didn't have true job margin costs, right? They didn't really understand the true margins on each individual job. So field labor captured in one bucket and couldn't see margins by division or per job. So it was all just kind of bucketed into one. It wasn't really clear on like pool services. Hey, what's the margin on that versus landscape installs? What's the margin on that? And then maintenance margins were well below target. So maintenance known to be a labor heavy activity. Team suspected low gross margin versus goal. So we weren't really sure exactly what was the true margin on our maintenance, and just to get to be able to set pricing on maintenance to really make sure that we can keep it profitable. And then the last thing was inconsistent time tracking across divisions. So maintenance was using a landscaping management network punch in, punch out tool. Based on design, build, hardscape, and pool crews were not consistently tracked to jobs. So we want to be able to help them look at, hey, how can we track the time and labor use and effectiveness across division. So those are some of the challenges they were facing. What did we implement? Well, the first thing was we looked at how do we get division level margin pillars. So we rebuilt the income statement. So direct labor materials flow to the right revenue pillars. So meaning, putting aside for maintenance, landscape install pools to reveal actual true gross margins, to have a good idea of, hey, what are the actual gross margins on our different service lines? Then we started to do job costing with LMN, so their landscape management network. So we were able to expand the time tracking to design, build, hardscape pool teams. We standard punch in, punch out by job to allocate labor precisely. And then we did material markup and overhead allocation rules. So we were able to review whether installed materials were upcharged sufficiently, meaning were we putting enough of an upcharge on them in a markup. We set targets and a clean overhead allocation to each pillar for apples to apples margins. So being able to say, hey, which of our divisions is most profitable? And then the fourth thing that we did was gross margin targeting by division. So we set clear targets, meaning maintenance was closer to 45% versus 20%, and built variance tracking to see where labor or material slippage occurs, and being able to adjust pricing based on that, or labor based on where slippage was going to happen or material slippage might happen, and whether that was during the install or during maintenance. And the last thing was we did dashboards and training. So we added a gross margin working income statement, and we were able to create quick charts so ops leaders can spot over budget labor material in real time. So being able to see relatively in real time, hey, where are we at in terms of inventory of materials? Where are we at in terms of demand for labor? And where are we going to need to allocate resources? So some of the things that we worked on during our time in the academy. And, hey, was this going to be worth it for them? And what are kind of some of the big outcomes that we're able to help them be able to achieve moving forward? So one of them was a margin lift on their maintenance services from 20% closer to 45%. This is during partial year one capture. So if we're able to go up by 25 points in terms of margins on the maintenance services alone, on 1.5 million of maintenance services per year, that's potential of about 375K of potential gross profit. Not bad if we're able to do that and move forward, and pretty sure we'll be able to feel like we can get close to that. Even if we get 60% of that, it's around 225,000 in terms of added gross profit there of being able to improve the maintenance profit margin. So 2 was job level time tracking cuts, labor overrun in install pools. So install and pool revenue around 3.5 million. And we're going to assume direct labor, field labor is 30% of revenue. So if we can improve efficiency by 7%, we're going to be looking at around 73,500 saved. And then material pricing and markup discipline. So we want to improve our margins on our materials. And so improvement of 1.5 to 3 points of a profit margin on that. looking at $50,000 to $100,000 of added gross profit. So somewhere in the midpoint, if we hit that mark, will be around 80K of savings. So you can see and do the math adding up. Very worthwhile and very necessary in terms of staying profitable and adding to the bottom line by making some of these changes. So we're going to keep working with them. What are we going to do next with this company? Well, we're going to enforce the LMN usage across all crews, making sure they're efficient with the time tracking and doing a weekly audit of untagged hours. Then we're going to go through a monthly pillar review, identify which division is underperforming or which is performing the best, and be able to compare the two and where do we need to allocate labor and team and resources. And third, standardize material markups and revisit estimates on labor dense scopes for things like hardscape and pools that require more team and materials. So this is a case study going through a $5 million a year landscape company and pool company in New Jersey. And hopefully this was helpful. Able to see kind of some of the changes that we have been able to help them with, the detail we go into. And if you like this kind of thing, you like to see how we're helping other businesses and being able to go through this with their financial side of things and improve profitability. We've got tons of these types of case studies on YouTube. Feel free to click around and check them out. We'll catch you on the next case study.